We have an update to bring you now on President Biden's eligibility for the Ohio ballot in November. 3 News partner Cleveland.com is reporting that Ohio House Speaker Jason Stephens said today lawmakers will not pass a resolution to law that's posing a barrier for the president. Democrats do have to submit their nomination by August 7th. Here's the thing. The party's convention is scheduled for a few weeks after that deadline. So Speaker Stephens acknowledges that many Republicans did want to pass an emergency legislation. However, it would require a higher vote threshold. Stephens added, quote, "There's just not the will to do that from this legislature." Regardless, top Ohio lawmakers say they do expect that President Biden, will make it on the ballot before Election Day.
Thanks for stopping in, y'all. Huge news. According to recent news reports, Joe Biden may not be on the ballot in Ohio for the upcoming presidential election. The issue arises from a conflict between the timing of the Democratic National Convention and Ohio's election laws. Ohio law requires political parties to certify the presidential candidate with the Secretary of the state on or before 90 days prior to an election. The Democratic National Convention, where Biden will be officially nominated, is scheduled for August 19th through the 22nd, which is after the August 7th deadline. Ohio lawmakers have refused to pass a bill to waive the deadline, citing hyperpartisanship and dysfunction in the legislature. Ohio House Speaker Jason Stephens stated that there's just not the will to do that from the legislature. So if the issue is not resolved, Biden's name may not appear on the Ohio ballot. This would mean that voters in Ohio would not be able to cast a ballot for President Joe Biden. Like it's really going to matter, right? Trump's going to win this one. But despite the uncertainty, many leaders, including Republican Governor Mike DeWine, have expressed confidence that Biden will appear on the Ohio ballot one way or another. However, the situation remains unclear, and it is uncertain how the issue will be resolved. Well, if I had to guess, I would say that the issue will be resolved by corrupt politicians coming darn near close to breaking the law to make sure that something that they want actually happens. Probably be the first time that ever happened, too, in history. But let's check this article out here from Ohio Capitol Journal. Ohio legislative leaders say Biden ballot fix won't happen through lawmakers. Ohio lawmakers are confident that President Joe Biden will be on the November ballot, but how exactly that will happen remains the question. The fix won't happen through the legislature. However, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine said the legislature needs to make the fix. Ohio law requires political parties certify their candidates with the Secretary of State on or before 90 days prior to an election. The issue is that the Democratic National Convention, where Biden will be officially nominated, won't take place until August 22nd, and that's 75 days before the election. Republican politicians at the State House made clear that they want to take away Ohioans' ability to choose who they want to be president. Ohio Democratic Party Chair Elizabeth Waters said in a statement, "Throughout this process, corrupt politicians in Columbus have politicized the process and used it to play political games with Ohioans' ability to hold their government accountable." Wow, I can't believe Republicans are actually doing something that reflects what a Democrat would do. We've seen how the Democrats have gone after Trump these last 8 years, especially this last year with all these crazy and corrupt indictments and court cases and everything that are all constantly falling apart. Now that we know that the FBI agents who raided Mar-A-Largo had authority to use deadly force, leading a lot of people to wonder, was it an indirect attempt at the former President Donald Trump's life? Or maybe one of his family members or an innocent bystander who, in this case, everybody's actually innocent. So people are left to wonder. Quote, Joe Biden will be on the ballot in all 50 states. A spokesperson for the Biden campaign said in an email, election after election, states across the country have acted in line with bipartisan consensus and taken the necessary steps to ensure the presidential nominees from both parties will be on the ballot. Well, times are a-changing there, buddy. 2 weeks ago, the House and Senate came up with different ways of going about making the fix that would push the deadline to 74 days before the election instead. How convenient, right? And of course, the House and Senate Republicans are going to work with the Democrats, unlike the Ohio legislature. And I would argue that this would be politicians in Washington doing exactly what they're accusing the Ohio legislature of doing, in that people in D.C. are going to dictate to folks in Ohio what they should be doing. You know, they accuse the legislature in Ohio of not allowing people to vote for Biden. You know, they might be getting a bunch of reports and calls to their office, and they drive around their neighborhoods, and all they hear is how bad Biden is, and they never hear anybody say anything good about Biden. So they feel like it's a worthless act. They could be busier doing real things that actually affect the citizens in their state. But that would be me just speculating. I really don't know what they're doing. But I find it ironic and a bit hypocritical for people to support one group forcing their laws onto another group, while they're actually calling that other group dictators for not allowing the citizens to vote for Biden. Which I'm sure they wouldn't have that same principled stance if it was Trump that was off the ballot for some reason, right? Which they're trying to actually do in multiple states with these indictments. And those people aren't saying anything about trying to stop Trump from being on the ballot, so we're not trying to hear it from you. The Senate bill put the ballot fix in amendments that would ban foreign nationals from contributing to political campaigns to House Bill 114, a campaign child care bill. The Senate passed their bill during the May 8th session. The House took Senate Bill 98 and stripped the bill of its previous language about last year's special election and put it in the presidential nomination language, making it a clean bill, but the House adjourned before voting to approve the bill. That sounds kind of weird. Is that a normal procedure? Or literally, are they just right in front of our eyes fixing the Ohio ballot for Biden to allow him to actually be on it when him and his own campaign, his own team couldn't do it on their own? Go figure. Which brings me to the Alabama fix. Alabama was facing a similar situation, but lawmakers passed legislation and the Republican governor signed a bill into law to make sure Biden would be on the state's November ballot earlier this month. The bill bumps back Alabama's certification deadline from 82 days before the election to 74 days. Even Alabama, their legislature, was able to get this right, Russo said. Sounds kind of like a dig at Alabama. It's like you said, even Alabama, their legislature was able to get this right. Where are you at, Ohio? And if I lived in Alabama, I'd be kind of offended at that statement. So in summary, I understand you guys might not have heard about the Ohio Capitol Journal. I never had before until I saw this story come across X. I went ahead and searched some articles, and here's another one. So we have multiple news sources confirming the story. This is Blaze Media. Biden currently not slated to be on the Ohio ballot in November, and state lawmakers didn't bother to fix it. And then I have this other one here from Fox News. Biden ballot issues in Ohio aren't going away as state Democrats receive another urgent warning. And that's actually where I got the clip that I played in the beginning. But what do you guys think? Do you think Biden will actually be on the Ohio ballot? If I had to guess, I would say yes. I'm not scared. Trump will win regardless. How crazy is it that Biden is not on the Ohio ballot officially right now, and it's the last week of May? We're literally less than 6 months away from the election, and Biden's team or whoever was supposed to take care of this wasn't able to get it done. Maybe, this is a good hypothesis actually that I just thought of, maybe they didn't actually get him on the ballot officially, and same thing with Alabama, which they made special arrangements to have it fixed, right? But maybe it's because, like Vivek Ramaswamy suggests, that Biden's not going to be the actual candidate on the ballot when it comes November. And I know it's becoming crunch time for anybody else to actually literally replace Biden, but it seems like they have until, the last 90 days to actually declare and submit that name that's going to be on the ballot. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the issue why they're talking about shortening the amount of days. It's 90 days in Ohio. It was 84 days or whatever in Alabama. They shortened it to 74, and they're trying to shorten the other one in Ohio to 74. The Democrats should just change the day that they actually declare their official candidate. Can't they do math? Don't they know what 90 days are? Don't they respect laws? Well, we know the answer to that, and it's no, but still, they should. And they should still have the understanding, if they want to win an election, you got to at least get your guy on the ballot. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up there. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.